Hi, Debbie Pierce here. Last time I talked to you about one way to make the most of today, which is to declutter your mind. That sounds easy, but it's really kind of hard to do. We don't like actually stopping and taking the time to reflect on mental and emotional baggage that we're carrying around with us. Instead, we tend to avoid doing those things. Well, avoidance can happen in a lot of different ways. We can avoid by sleeping. We can avoid by eating or drinking too much. We can avoid by playing games, surfing online, going shopping. There's a lot of different ways we can avoid, right? And the problem with avoidance is that we're putting off something that is absolutely necessary and essential for our well being, but also for our intent to be more intentional. However, there are things that happen during the day that, even with our best intentions, sort of emotionally hijack us, right? Especially as women. And I like that term emotional hijack because that's how it feels for me. It feels like something has come along out of the blue and kidnapped my brain and taken it temporarily on a journey. And so instead of avoiding dealing with what actually just happened, what triggered me to be all upset, or feeling the way I'm feeling, and what am I telling myself about that situation, and do I need to change the way I'm thinking about the situation? Instead of doing those very mindful things, if I use some sort of avoidance tactic, then I never actually really deal with it, right? What happens is my emotions die down, and then over time I don't feel that way anymore, and then I just get on with life, but never really got resolved. Instead, what I want to do is I want to distract myself temporarily from the situation that's caused me to be so emotionally disrupted. Okay, distraction is different than avoidance, because avoidance means I don't want to deal with it. I want it to go away. I want it to pretend it's not happening, and I'm going to go do these things over here so that I can ignore the situation. But when I distract myself, I acknowledge that no, I really do need to take a look at this. I need to think about it differently. I need to attend to it mentally and emotionally. But right now, I recognize that my emotions are super heightened, and that's not going to do me any good. I'm not going to make good, mindful, intentional decisions that are going to benefit me and other people. So I need to go do something that temporarily distracts my brain from this situation and allows my emotions to calm me down. And I'm going to pick something that isn't going to make the situation worse. So if I engage in too much alcohol or food that's not good for me, I pay a price for that later. If I go out and do some compulsive shopping, I pay a price for that later. If I check out mentally by going and sleeping and then not getting things done around the home, not getting dinner made, not getting tasks for work done, I pay a price for that later. You get what I'm saying. But if I distract myself by something that is actually beneficial to me, like, for example, exercise. Exercise for me is a very powerful way to reset my brain in a healthy way, because the endorphins kick me into a whole different mood. Okay? When you pick something like that, putting on some music, calling somebody up, but not talking about the situation, in other words, getting your mind off of the situation by having a conversation about something completely different, going to work, right? Focusing on a different task, whatever works to bring you and reset you back to some sort of emotional balance or equilibrium. Then you come back to what the situation was. You take a look at it from all different angles. What happened? Why did it happen? What was I thinking? What do I want to think differently? And then you can get back on track with making good, mindful, intentional decisions. And that's part of the process of decluttering your mind from things in the past that you've avoided dealing with. Maybe it's time to stop avoiding, to really take a good look at what you're carrying around that there's a major mental and emotional drain on you, and wasting time and robbing you from being intentional. So, avoidance or distraction, which one are you doing?